Welcome to a reading. I hope you're well. I'm going to read your field for you so you can sit back, relax, maybe grab something to drink. It's going to be around half an hour, I reckon. It's kind of my go-to time for the readings on here for the moment. I think that's all for now. So I'm going to let the cards speak now. I think we're going to do a 6-card spread today, 5-card spread. Okay. I've got a 2 of Swords, the Lovers, Knight of Swords, 4 of Wands, 8 of Wands, and the underlying energy is the World. Okay, give me a minute to just tune in. Thought so. It's kind of touching on a similar energy that came through in today's TikTok reading. I'm just going to remind you, all my channels somewhat work in synergy. So I have been reposting the TikTok readings on Instagram for all of you that are not on TikTok. And yeah, Patreon is still where you will get the most in-depth reading and other perks, which you can just go on Patreon and read through it yourself and just see if that speaks to you in any shape or form. But yeah, what I'm seeing is an energy I already picked up on in the TikTok reading, and it looks like it kind of feels like not being able to like receive something good. You know, like we've got the 4 of Swords, the 4 of Wands and the 8 of Wands. I got the 2 of Swords on top with the Lovers and the Knight of Swords. So this can speak of a connection. This can speak of like meeting someone where you feel, yeah, like romantic feelings being stirred up, and then instantly going in your head about it, or instantly feeling confused about it. Although it doesn't look like there's anything you need to feel confused about in this particular case, because the energy is stable. You know, like the energy between you is stable. I'm even hearing it's consistent, or if you can allow it to breathe and you can allow it to develop the way it's meant to, it will be consistent. Again, in this specific case. So of course, if you have a connection and it turns out not to be consistent, then maybe this is not or wasn't your reading. But for now, you must know, or you must feel that there's truth to this, because this will act as a confirmation. Like you must know on some level, okay, from the way you've interacted, or the way this person has shown up, or the way you've shown up for this person, there is steady forward movement for one, and also, yeah, consistency, there's stability in some shape or form. And this can also be subtle at first, you know, where you just feel like opening up, or when you do open up, you're met with warmth, you know, you're met with a caring heart. So the 7 of Wands on top of all of this is just like pulling the brakes, you know, just someone slamming on the brakes basically. And that is where I concluded, and I just picked up on, not like the root of it does come from not fully being able to receive something that feels good, or that can turn really good in time as well. Like there's an energy here of it building up. And it doesn't at all mean, you know, that all is lost, or, you know, like pulling the brakes and it can't move forward again. It's just showing that either there's a trigger that is flaring up, and or it's just the natural cause of going in your head, like being too much in your head, which also some of you must know, or most of us know, that being too much in our head, you know, cannot always be the best thing. Like it can, exactly like it's coming through here, it can slow certain things down, and it can, but again, here I need to stress, slowing it down is maybe what you need right now. it doesn't mean all is lost. It doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It's just, again, it's showing that there's, I would like to describe it as a trigger. You know, when you get triggered, you can exactly get really confused about things. You just go in your head, you may overanalyze, you may even spiral, especially when there's romantic feelings that get stirred up. It can be very confronting for one, but it can be uncomfortable. And I have touched on this before, and I've even channeled this, like, different types of people that experience crushes very differently. For example, if it's a crush, I mean, crushes can stir romantic relationships, but basically for some it can be, you know, the highlight of the day. Everything suddenly is colorful and beautiful and light and fun and joyful, and for others it's an absolute, like, fuck my life, here we go again, what is gonna happen, how do I prepare for rejection, how do I prepare for abandonment, how do I prepare for shit hitting the fan, you know. Is also, of course, comes from what you have experienced in the past. Like, it is somewhat shaped from what you have experienced in the past, and not everyone drags the past into the present. Some really do the work, integrate it, and it doesn't affect you anymore. But sometimes, even though you are doing the work, it can't, like, there's shadows that can creep up. I'm getting like little nooks and crannies where like there's still a bit of dust that wants clearing out. So all in all, again, I really need to stress this: you pulling the brakes, or you having a reaction that may feel like, oh, it's stopping the connection, or, you know, even sabotaging. That's what came through in the TikTok. Especially when you're conscious of it. Like, let's say it is, if you feel like you're sabotaging, but you're conscious of it, that's already amazing that you can acknowledge that. You know how much that takes to, like, stop yourself while this is unfolding and be, like, aware of it and conscious, because maybe, let's say 2, 3 or 4 years ago, you may have had the same mechanisms happen, but you weren't consciously aware, you weren't aware that it is coming from you. Like, in this case, it's coming from you. We can kind of tune into the other person, but right now it looks like it's coming from you. Like, you're pulling the brakes, you're the one that is in your head, you're the one that's overthinking. So I am actually going to take a moment to just tune into the other person. Again, this is a collective reading, so it's collective consciousness that I'm reading. Sorry, I was thinking about something totally else. I was just thinking about, since being back on TikTok, I did realize that I really miss reading, like, for broader collective. And it's been nice just connecting with you again. And I know some of you are on here as well, so I'm not always the best at, like, interacting with the comment section. But I do really appreciate all of you that are interacting with the channel, that are commenting, that, you know, are just supportive and really loving and just kind. I really do appreciate that. So I'm making a mental note that I do just, I hope I say it enough. I probably don't, but I do hope I say it enough. Again, I wasn't consciously, I keep pulling cards without, I was like talking. I wanna ask how the person that is apparently connected to this reading, how they're feeling about this. The world in reverse, and I have a 2 of swords. Okay, interesting. So they too are confused. And it looks like with the world, they're processing something that is not fully closed out. You could be as well, you know, like, this could also be indicative of there having been an experience that is just weighing heavy, even though you don't want it to weigh heavy, but it's just still influencing you, or still has an effect on how you interact with another person. Or, like we were talking about, when you, like, romantic feelings are being stirred up, or you're crushing on someone, yeah, I want to say it's unfortunate that experiences can linger for so long. You know, something can have happened years ago and it can creep up in the oddest ways, or it can creep up in moments or in connections where you already thought you've, chewed through it, you've integrated it. That's why we talk about layers as well. Like when you work with me in one-on-one sessions, we kind of use the symbolism of like an onion. You can look at yourself as like an onion, and you have different layers, and in the middle is your core, like your core essence that doesn't change, but it can get like buried through layers of conditioning, trauma, authority figures telling you something, psychic and mediums and healers telling you something, gurus, priests, church figures or religious figures telling you something, and then it kind of just builds, and the core can then feel like you don't have access to your core anymore, or you just forget certain things that are are your core, are within you, and are unchangeable. It doesn't go away. It's just or the work that we do and the work we also do to get on Patreon, when you become a member, we peel away those layers so that you have more access, gradually just have more access to your essence. And your essence includes everything from your gifts, your talents, your true preferences, your desires. There's a whole list. And it's deep work, is also heavy work. It's, again, when you're part of Patreon, you are part of a beautiful community that works through the sludge with you. We're all kind of in the same boat. It is work though. It's like, if you're already someone who works on yourself often and a lot, it can be really valuable and it can be really rewarding to be part of a broader space where that is also protected. So you get readings like this, but it's just more specific to all of you within the container. This is some advertisement for Patreon, but it still is my baby, and it probably will stay my baby. So I really would love to have you join there, especially if you feel like that is something you've been craving or are craving, or you just feel called and drawn to be a part there. So it is going through some changes. I have introduced for now one introductory tier where you will just have access to a part of the readings, and for full readings and community chat and clearing sessions and one-on-one work with me at a premium price, it will be the sanctum, and that stays. So that's always an option to just check that out and just see how you feel, or join for a month or two and just see how you feel. It is a very different energy than on any other platforms, whether YouTube, TikTok. You will see it for yourself. But anyway, I kind of got off track. The person is feeling confused as well, which I don't. It's not too surprising. Like if one person is confused, it can oftentimes confuse the other person as well, or just both are fucking confused about what the hell is going on. What are we doing here? What is this? What am I feeling? It can be mutual, that as well, as much as a crush and attraction can be mutual. What also can be mutual is all the gnarly stuff that comes up, the limitations, shadows, fears, that all can also be mutual. So here there's some of that, definitely. I'm picking up on that. So it looks like it's not only you, it's also the person that is in connection here with you, or that you are, or there's a connection that is being pursued. So let me get a little bit more on how they are feeling or what's going on with them, because like I said, it looks like they have something that is still being closed out. For some reason it is reminding me from the first TikTok that I posted again this year, which was, I posted on New Year's, and it was about a situation that yeah, like exactly here, that isn't like, it's not fully closed out yet, and then still maybe some more processing in this year in 2026. So of course this can be an ex. This doesn't have to, it doesn't have to be, it can be a situationship. Like that's why connection, like when you're in a connection with someone, is broader. You know, the labels can water it down. Even if it's a situationship for some of you, the connection itself could have felt like a full-blown relationship. You know, that's where I try to be a little bit careful with the labels. And well, I don't know if connection is a better word. It is really broad, but I think you know what I mean by that. So anyway, the person here is as well like still dealing with something that they haven't fully closed out yet, or they haven't fully come to terms yet, or haven't had full closure. They are more expressive and more extroverted. Like if you are someone that goes in the head but then like kind of closes down or just doesn't speak or is not as expressive, they could match you there somewhat opposite, or they would even like meet you there. But this is where this could still be some confusion, because I'm getting like, if you feel like you're being too much, they feel like they're being too much as well. So you're both kind of like mirroring each other, even pacing. And this can as well gradually increase, you know, like with time, you will get more comfortable, you will know how they kind of react to who you are, and you get how you react to how they are, like they are, and you will see them opening up. So the way I'm already speaking, this is still rolling, like this is still ongoing as well, with the pulling the brakes, like I somewhat already picked up on at the beginning. It doesn't mean it's like the end or this is that, you know, it's like a part of the chapter that is being written together. So I'm also getting, it's very common, you know, this is very common, that when feelings are being stirred and it feels intense or overwhelming, that one or the other may just need a breather and may pull the brakes, and it can be a bit abrupt and a bit like, whoa, you know, we were like on a high flying kite and now suddenly it's crickets. But this is where I really get that I need to reassure you that it doesn't mean it's the end, or it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. You're actually doing yourself a favor. Like this can be a part of you honoring if you are feeling overwhelmed, or if also for you there's a situation being stirred up. Although I'm getting it's less like for you, that's, you may have that as well, but I'm getting it's a bit less present. So that could speak of that you just already closed it out in your own way, and it just maybe some residue that is being dragged into this year. But anyway, if you're on TikTok, you can watch that, or even on Instagram. It's like a reading from, I think I even put the date, it will be the 1st of Jan. Yeah, there is someone they are thinking about, but it doesn't look like they're really, like it's someone that was really good for them. And the way, like, I just heard the way you marched into their life, there's more of an energy of like, okay, this is supportive, like this feels good, this is good for me, this is worth pursuing. Whereas whoever they're still thinking about, it just looks like it wasn't, sorry, I don't see all cards. Whoa. Well, I can just tell you, it's the Magician, the 6 of Cups, and the Queen of Wands in reverse. What I'm getting from this is that there was a lot of breadcrumbing here. You know, this person seems to be a giver. Lucky you, but it's someone who gives, like they invest and they put in effort. And whoever they're closing a connection out with was just not very grateful for that, or they weren't considerate, or they just weren't, it's like they didn't see that, or they didn't notice it, or they didn't value it. So it just looks like, yeah, they as well have this feeling of like, oh, you know, don't be too much, or don't show you care too early on, or just that here's where you're both a bit confused. You seem both a little bit confused here. Can you tell me more? Interesting. They are less though, like, if it were up to them, they would not have pulled the brakes. If it were up to them, it would have been like, they would have, interesting enough, they would have matched the intensity, or they would have matched the tempo that you tend to go at times when you can feel a strong connection with someone, or like there's mutual attraction and you're like, fuck yeah, let's go. So you may really have had an experience that just kind of, because we were talking about essences, there's a reason I started talking about that. So if you as well are naturally like that, you're like, fuck it, let's ball, dive in, head deep, see where it takes us, get married in a church in Vegas 7 days in, that type, kind of very rock and roll. But if you've had an experience where, let's say you wanted, just a bad experience in that energy, I feel like that is influencing the pulling the brakes, because it feels very self-protective. It feels like, okay, let's just, take it easy or take it slower, which again I do as well have to stress is not a bad thing. Especially if you're on Patreon, this has been an ongoing theme. About a couple of months ago, I was channeling so many readings around slow drip, taking your time to get to know someone, allowing them to show you how consistent they are, letting trust build gradually. And the flip side of that is intense connections, or being in, like, diving head in, is you kind of take not a shortcut, but you will skip 10, 20, 30 steps, and sometimes it works out, especially if both are on that high flying kite. You both can match each other there. It doesn't have to not work out. We have great examples, like shotgun weddings that have, turn out to be beautiful stories. Don't ask me why I'm talking about shotgun wedding. Maybe someone had an idea already, or both of you had a quick vision, a vision quest. But it could be just to describe that, there's like, if you are, or that you have that strain within you where you could and can, and maybe like in younger years where you had less bad experiences and you were just going with the flow, less in your head, less thinking about it, less confused. So if and you can connect with that, and that's part of your essence, you may be able to reconnect with that part through this other person, because the two of you match each other there as well. And right now there's just confusion, and there's confusion maybe because as well, like, you both are intent, like you both have that strain, like if you would let both of you loose, you might really be married in a week or a month or some shit like that. I honestly don't know why I keep talking about this. It must be a reason, like it must be part of the energy I'm picking up on. So let me get one or two more cards. I don't really know what the advice is. It's just more like a call to, I feel like the golden nugget of this reading is really like allowing yourself to experience yourself and how you move through another person that can keep up with you, basically, or can even meet you at that level. And that of course can be scary as well, like it can, for some odd reason, even be familiar or even comfortable when you are not met on that level. Like if that's the experiences that you have had, which some of you, I feel like I definitely can feel that current here, or that's what we were talking about as well, like you're on that high flying kite. Someone may go along with it for a few days and then suddenly it's like, whoa, this is way too much. But then that can as well be comfortable, because either you already expect it, or if it happens multiple times, you already know there's going to be fall-offs or whatever. But if you then meet someone who meets you on that high flying kite and you both like whoosh, that can actually be scarier than a drop-off. the drop off may hurt, it may sting, but you kind of get over it, or you learn to get over it, or you get over it with time. But I'm really getting that this year, or another reason why the brakes have been pulled, is because you must have, even on a subconscious level, like felt that, whoa, this is like really going like this, whoosh. And that can be scary. Like, even if you love a girl, love a boy, if you're suddenly being met on that plane, that can be scary, because, you know, things can happen overnight. And so that is like the golden nugget. It does feel like, all in all, you are experiencing your essence through another person, which is beautiful. And just when I say that, we have the Two of Wands, so I don't really want to, I mean, Two of Wands speaks for itself, but I just want to say I don't really want to predict what could happen between the two of you. But this is a very, very, like, this is an outcome that is very possible. And I'm saying possible for a reason, because of course, depending on how this evolves and the choices you make, there can still be a fall off. There's always a risk. But if you gradually take your hand off the brakes and it kind of moves forward again, and you both ping pong off each other's energy, I don't see why you shouldn't both land on the high flying kite again. And when you're both on the high flying kite, it's also like a high flying disc. High flying disc, you will have a lot of fun, it will be a lot of laughter, there'll be a lot of everything that feels really, really good. And of course, there's a risk, like with anything, when you're on a high flying kite, that there's a crash, and that is what you may also have been thinking about, or may have been also the fear. So you're not dumb, like, you know, you're not dumb, you're not like, this is an intelligent, aware person that I'm reading for. You're aware, like, you have some sort of understanding of, you know, like, checking scenario A, B, C, D, what can happen, best case, worst case. So I don't blame you for being in your head. I don't blame you for wanting to slow it down. So we're kind of going full circle with this reading. We've already touched on nothing that you've done here is bad. Nothing means the connection can't, you know, move forward and go at it. Like, looks like maybe this is a new experience that you also like are slowing it down, or allowing yourself to go at the pace that you need to go right now, even if your essence is part of like, yeah, fuck it, let's ball, let's just go. You are, like I already said, in some shape or form, you are honoring where you're at. You're honoring that you may have had experiences that have shaped you in a way where you are a little bit more careful, you are more considerate of your own feelings and the tempo that you can go. So it all in all is really a positive reading. I feel like it's a positive deck of cards you're getting. It can just be, you know, maybe I'm reading this for you because you started beating yourself up, or you recognized, yeah, exactly this, like, you know, it's a good thing, it's been feeling good, why did I have to pull the brakes, or why am I the one that is suddenly like, whoa, when usually I'm the one that goes, you know, full speed ahead, fucking let's crash or not, doesn't matter, at least I'm alive, at least I'm experiencing life. So, you know, maybe that's what you needed to hear, that you're really not doing anything wrong. This is just you being honoring yourself and being considerate of yourself and not rushing, I guess. And that can be a bit of like a contrast to intensity, of course, but it really doesn't, like, I just feel like you may need some reassurance right now. And like I said, you have the Four of Wands, you have the Eight of Wands. It's still going, it's still progressing, like you're still moving ahead together. And for some reason I heard if there is a fall off, you will be equipped to deal with that. You know, like if that's your worst case scenario, and that's something you think about, you will be equipped. Like even the worst case scenario is not gonna end you, even if some of you might think it would. If like kind of just got like, if it happens again, it will be the end of me, or like that's what it can feel when you've had really bad experiences, of course. And again, this is a protective measure. This is like your internal system puts in a protective measure. Like when you have shitty ass experiences, you learn from them in a way that at first can be a bit overprotective, and then you have good experiences that can override that. And this may be one of those good experiences if you can allow yourself to receive it as well. You know, that is as well, like that would be somewhat of the worst is if you don't even allow yourself to receive it. And I don't see that you're not doing that. It just looks like you're tempering, like you going at the pace that you can. So again, I just feel like stressing that you're honoring yourself. It doesn't mean you're a coward, it doesn't mean you doing something wrong. It really doesn't. So I hope you can receive this well. Like I said, I think 30 minutes is it's like the sweet spot here at the moment. I also suddenly got really, really tired, so I'm gonna upload this and I will be back very soon. Make sure you check Patreon if any of that really drew you in. I think you would really like that space. It's curated for you lot, and I've been having such a blast on there, and as well going through my ups and downs, which you see a bit more of than on here maybe. But yeah, anyways, that space is there. You're more than welcome to join, and I will be back here very soon with a new reading. Bye.